Hey guys, coming at you with One Piece chapter 997. So, yeah, we may as well start with Sanji and how easily he fell into Black Maria's trap, which, yeah, I can see a lot of people getting angry at that one, but if I'm allowed to be a little fair to the whole thing, Oda had used the scenario in order to play up his chivalrous side more than his pervy side. And I know that people think those two are the same, but they really aren't. This was definitely a lot more from Sanji, like being chivalrous more than pervy. But at the same time, the fact that he did fall into such a obvious trap isn't exactly a good look for Oda. The only way, now having said all that, the only way I can defend this is that this is the first step towards something that Oda was talking about a while back with the Straw Hats going through with the Straw Hats about to go through new character arcs. So in this particular case, it could be drawing attention to the fact that while Sanji's chivalry isn't inherently a bad thing, it's also the case that as far as the new world goes, it's been the one aspect about Sanji that's gotten him consistently into the most trouble. So maybe so in terms of like the whole the different through line of what Oda's done with Sanji in the new world at this point, maybe maybe the point that Oda's been trying to drive home with Sanji is that he needs to be more aware and perceptive in the moment before jumping headfirst into a situation. That's the only thing I can think of, and it's the only thing that makes the most thematic sense when you consider that falling into Maria's trap did feel like the tipping point to this problem. On top of that fact that Oda did very subtly address how Sanji's absence kind of added to the chaos of the situation. So yeah, I think that is what Oda's playing at, is that it's kind of a thing where this is going to be pretty much part of Sanji's larger character arc that he's going to need to learn in order to in order to actually analyze and pretty much discern the a situation like before even acting on it on something. So yeah, that's the best thing I can come up with, but uh, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Um, with that said, let's talk about the major turning point with this chapter, which is that Onigashima is basically floating in the sky, floating above the sea, and heading straight in the direct course for the flower capital in order to basically crush, and in order to crush it underneath Onigashima, in order to crush the flower capital under Onigashima, and replace it as the capital of Wano, essentially entering the final stage of Kaido's plan of making the country into a pirate stronghold. Now, here's the thing. If what we've heard can be believed, we're headed full steam into the Throne War saga once Wano is over. So, with that in mind, I'm more convinced now than ever that this is going to be a win the battle, lose the war kind of situation with pretty much with this arc, because where all the remaining forces of Kaido's crew, including Queen and King, get defeated, and maybe Kaido himself. But with the current situation, I'm more heavily leaning in the but with the current situation, I'm even more heavily leaning in the direction of the latter fight with Kaido, basically ending in a pretty much in a pretty much undecided way. However, even if this is the case, even if the Straw Hats and all their allies end up defeating Kaido and his crew, by the time this conflict ends, Wano will have already become Kaido's new base. And the reason why I'm saying this is if you look at the through line of arcs like this, where where pirate captains have attempted to have attempted to taken over a country, starting with Alabasta, it's thrust the Straw Hats into even more of a difficult and escalated situation each time. With Alabasta, it was stopping Crocodile from taking over the country. With Dressrosa, it was exposing Doflamingo's corruption and dethroning him from his seat of power. Now, with Wano, it's not only a combination of these two previous arcs and their through lines, but this time around with the Straw Hats and their Straw Hats and their allies and their Straw Hats and their allies' attempts in order to stop Kaido from taking over Wano, they've ended up facing one obstacle and failure after another, and it almost and because of these constant failures and obstacles that they've faced at each and every turn, it almost feels like the stage is perfectly set for history to repeat itself again, and for Wano to and for Wano to pretty much fall into further despair. In fact, honestly, if I'm even if I'm being the most optimistic of what our heroes can achieve, but what our heroes are going to be able to achieve, but by the end of this arc, I think the only thing that's going to get accomplished for like the Straw Hats and their alliance and their allies is probably opening up Wano's borders. That's the only victory I can see happening now among the other smaller victories we'll get into. And it would be like the perfect way to transition in. And honestly, if you just look at it, like by pretty much having the Throne Wars, by pretty much having the by pretty much having Wano become like a pretty much pirate stronghold, it would in a certain way be the perfect way to transition into the Throne Wars saga of this of One Piece. I'm not saying 100%. That's I mean it kind of just all makes sense. Like this is like up and even more so even more so it also feeds into something else that has really kind of been an interesting theme throughout the New World, which is that Luffy has been unable in order to defeat a Yonko yet. Like I'm not like he didn't even he didn't necessarily defeat he didn't necessarily defeat Big Mom, and with Kaido it's even more of a situation where with Kaido it's kind of even more of a with Kaido, it's even more of a situation where, yeah, Luffy has gotten stronger in order to face him, but at the same time, again, I don't even despite his increase in strength, I don't know if it's actually going to be like an actual defeat on Kaido's end. I think it's going to be like almost like a stalemate or something like that. That's kind of the only thing I can see happening here. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but yeah, I'm having a really hard time in believing that Luffy is going to be able to actually defeat Kaido. At least through like normal means, even if everyone like teams up in order to take him on. Um, of course, but moving on from that, the other thing with this chapter is that Chopper now has the antidote to cure everyone on the battlefield of Queen's Poison. And honestly, putting aside anything else I'm hoping to see in terms of this being another step towards Chopper like possibly curing people with the Smile Fruit in the future. There was something just genuinely satisfying about seeing Chopper take charge of the situation and commanding people what to do in order to slow the infection. It's a small moment, but it's also one that shows not only how much more confident Chopper has become as a character, but also just how everything he's done, he's pretty much done throughout Wano and honestly throughout the New World saga of things in general, however small, has helped to improve him as a doctor as well. And this is basically the result of all that. Like everything Chopper has done, as every little moment we've seen with Chopper, honestly, has kind of in a way built to this moment, which I can really kind of appreciate. And oh boy, Queen just got on Zoro's last nerve. He's about to go fucking in. He's about to go in and fucking wreck him. Which, yeah, honestly, I'm just gonna say, all right, if for anyone who's new to my channel, I fucking hate Queen with a passion. Like, I'm so all this entire time that Queen's been on screen, I've been like, can someone please put that annoying tub of lard out of my misery right now? That's been my biggest thing about Queen. So, because yeah, I don't know what it is, but from the moment I met him, there was just something that severely ticked me off about Queen, and that annoyance just grew as each moment he's basically been spotlighted in the manga. So to see us arrive at this point in this fight is just something I need to happen right now. So Zoro, just fucking end the guy, please. That's all I ask. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Ulster Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.